So there you go, soldiers. Roasted tomato and bacon soup. I'm telling you, it's smelling real nice in here. What's up, soldiers? Your boy Chris here. Now come back in from the grocery store. Hate unpacking groceries. Outside real cold. Watch man. Freezing kind of thing. Wish I was in the Caribbean right now. Looking for some soup to warm me up, but I realize I don't have ingredients for any sort of traditional Caribbean soup, so this one is not necessarily Caribbean. But I do have some tomato and some bacon, so I'm gonna vibes it up with a nice little, relatively quick. You gotta roast up them tomatoes, but a tomato bacon soup. You're gonna like this one, man. Wicked for days. I've got my oven preheating to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Normally I like to do this outside on the grill, but like I said, outside very cold, I ain't going out there. Just want to show you guys a trick, well not a trick, but something you need to do. I cut the tomato in half, but this sort of part here will not roast down. I know that for a fact. So all I'm going to do is cut that out and discard that part. Just going to cut these into wedges. And all we need here is some olive oil, some black pepper, and some sea salt. And then we'll put it in the oven to roast off for about half an hour to 45 minutes. We want them nice and roasted to get that sweetness out of that tomato. So on with that sea salt. And you can use regular salt, kosher salt, any sort of salt you like using. Black pepper. And a good dose of olive oil. Now you can use coconut oil if you want to give it a nice little island something, but olive oil for me. In the oven, 400 degrees Fahrenheit. I've got my heavy soup pan here, high heat. In goes my bacon. I chop them up into small pieces. And this is about just under half a pound of bacon. You can use more, you can use less. This is the leftover I had in the fridge. And all we want to do now is to fry that down until it's nice and crispy and it's rendered out most of that fat. Bacon is nice and crisp now, so what I'm going to do is remove it. Got that nice bacon there. And set it on some paper towel just to drain off some of that extra fat. And I don't know if you guys can see with the camera there because of the frothiness that's going on here, but there's a lot of fat in there. I don't want all of that. I'm going to leave back about 2 tablespoons of fat in there and toss out the rest of it. Remember, don't ever toss bacon fat down your sink. It will clog your pipes. Turn my heat down to low, and I've got here 2 large cloves of garlic that I minced up finely and 2 scallions that I chopped up. Heat on low, we just want to kind of gently cook that and start releasing all those flavors from it. Next up, I'm going to go in with a couple tablespoons of chopped parsley and 1 bird's eye pepper that I chopped up. And this is what the bird's eye or the bird pepper is going to look like. I left the seeds in there because I want some kick from that, some of the heat. Give that a quick stir. And next up, I've got some smoked paprika or pimenton, which is the spicy one. And I'm going to go in with a bit of that as well in there. That works great with the tomato. It took about 40 minutes for these tomatoes to roast off nicely. So all I'm going to do now is start adding these to the pot to bring it all together. Just going to turn my heat up to medium. Give that a quick stir. All that roasted tomato is in there. The kitchen is smelling wicked, I must be honest with you. Now here's the thing. We started off with salted bacon. We salted the tomatoes when we roasted them. And I'm going in with some chicken broth now, some chicken stock actually. And this is going to be salted as well. So I will not salt this dish any further until near the end when I'm almost done, to make sure I don't add unnecessary salt or sodium to this. Bring that up to a boil and then let it simmer for about 15-20 minutes. As it comes up to a boil, I'm just going to go in with a pinch of just white sugar just to help balance off that sort of acidity from the tomato. The tomato will go sweet in the oven, but we just need a bit of sugar in there. I want this soup, and let me show you something. I want this to be very rustic. Notice the big pieces of tomato that you're seeing in there. As it boils and simmers, it will break down a bit more. But if you want, you can certainly, near the end, go in with sort of an electric blender, one of those submersion blenders, and blend it smooth if you want. I want this rustic. The other thing is, if you want to add some more flavor, you can certainly go in with some fresh thyme, with a little touch of curry powder. But I really wanted in this soup for that bacon and the tomato to stand out, so I kind of held off on other flavor ingredients. Couple more points. If you want a vegetarian version of this, because obviously we used bacon in this, I have one I did with roasted tomato and peppers that's fully vegetarian. You can check out CaribbeanPot.com for that. And I've also have one where I added rice to this to give it a bit more body. So 2 other recipes you can check out on CaribbeanPot.com, the one with the rice and the full vegetarian version of this. Starting to come up to a boil now. I'm just going to give that a stir. And if you notice there are any big pieces of tomato that doesn't break apart, just use a spoon and sort of cut them into small pieces, because, like I said, I want this to be rustic. Reduce it to a simmer and let it go for about 15-20 minutes. So you're probably wondering, hey Chris, what about that bacon, brethren? You have 2 options here. You can go in with that bacon at this point, or when you serve it, you can put some of that crispy bacon on the top for some added texture. I like to do both things. So I'm going to go in with about half of that bacon directly into the pot, just for some more flavor, to bring out more of that bacon goodness in this bacon and tomato soup. So there you go, soldiers. Roasted tomato and bacon soup. I'm telling you, it's smelling real nice in here. And look, remember I said I wanted rustic? Look at all them nice big pieces of tomato and all that scallion and everything else. Some basil in here, some chopped basil would work perfect. Chris here at CaribbeanPot.com. Remember to give this recipe the thumbs up. It will not be posted on CaribbeanPot.com, being that it is not a traditional Caribbean soup. But I will try to post it for those of you who like printing at ChrisDelaRosa.com. Bless up, man. Let me go and warm up with this soup now, we.